Hey everybody, this is Kelly from Zinni. As you can see, I am now matching my paintings. I just paint my hair the same color of the paint I'm using, and you just never know what's going to come out. So, I wanted to talk today about everything that's going on in the world and how I have no answers. But I wanted to talk about it from the perspective of being a business owner in times when it's dangerous and scary in the world, and it's not like it hasn't been. It's not like, unfortunately, that racism and these things are new to us. But when we get more news and reminders, for some of you, it is your daily experience of living in this world with fear. And it's something that our clients experience. And it can be exhausting to work from an intersectional lens. When I say that, is working from the perspective of holistically with your clients, understanding all the different paths of their lives that intersect, and then also what that means for your relationship. I mean, the layers go on and on with this stuff, and it can wear on us with all that we're holding. And if you feel like I'm not holding anything, then I would encourage you to maybe explore that a little bit, because then maybe some conversations aren't being had about the lives of your clients and what it's like to be them in this society. And each country and culture has their own things that they face. And of course, I'm specifically kind of just aware right now with what's going on in the US, with abortion and women's rights, and then um, racist terrorist attacks on Black people in a grocery store and things like that. It's a lot. And I think that as business owners, we have an opportunity to use our businesses as a way to find strength through these times. Um, when I say that the world needs you, I don't mean to say it in a way that is to burden you to carry more than you can. In fact, I find that oftentimes when I'm coaching people who are already coming from marginalized and oppressed groups, they will tend to take on even more, in these times when they need more support than ever, and to be more unburdened. One of the things that came up in a chat today uh, with another group of our coaching clients was talking about liberation, about how can you use your business to find liberation in your life. And now I want to talk about, like, how do you find strength from it? And I do think this is why we're doing this master class again. Um, we didn't do it this last time we did the Joy Rally, but we're bringing the master class back to talk about how to have outcomes conversations with our clients. And I think it's a clinical conversation that needs to be had even now, when things in our world are more in our face that they're on fire. Like I said, I'm not going to say like I'm surprised, like, or any of that kind of thing, but sometimes we need to get back into touch about why we are doing what we're doing, and what it means to our clients. And those outcomes conversations can give us strength to continue to carry on in our work, and really actually deepen the work with our clients. And sometimes we may be missing some things. We'll talk about in the outcomes conversation training about questions you could be asking your clients. And one of those has to do with, like, where are they getting information from? Where do they spend their time? Are you aware of, like, how immersed your clients are in what's happening in the world and their experience of the world? So a good therapist is a therapist who's willing to take feedback and integrate it into their practice. And this is an opportunity to do that. And I find that it strengthens the clinician, but it also reignites their passion for what they do. It gives them purpose and their why. Because I can see sometimes when you are weary, when you are burdened with not only the pain of your clients, but when you have that same shared pain, you have those same fears or worries or stresses. It can start to feel like, why am I doing this? It feels like a drop in the bucket sometimes. I don't know. Does anyone ever feel that way? Like, how is this even like, here I am listening to this person talk about, they broke up with their boyfriend, and yet I turn on the news and like somebody woke up without their partner this morning because of tragedy and um, horrid things. And so it can feel that way, but then it can also feel like this shared, boy, we both live in fear. And it's like, how does this even matter? And I think that's why I see some people are typing yes. And thank you for sharing. And of course, Maple just came home and she's scratching at the door. So if you hear that, that's Maple. I think that's why these outcomes conversations can be so important, not only to improve and open up our eyes to areas that we aren't even addressing or places that we're missing our clients, but also where we're missing ourselves. Um, Too often, uh, we forget ourselves in the relationship and what we bring to the table. And I think these outcomes conversations can help give us strength to carry on, to get clearer and more what? Intentional about the way we are practicing. And it can help the attunement between you and your clients. And this is something I think that is more needed than ever. When we are in a place of fear, when our bodies are in a state of stress, connection with the other is important, whether that's in our personal life, but also with our clients. And so I do find that conversations related to attunement do strengthen you in the day to day. Does it have benefits for your business? Yes. We'll talk about how it can help with your marketing, yada, 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 how it can help get the phone ringing. Yeah. Okay. That's nice. But at the end of the day, I want you to feel clear about the work you do, why you do it, and to know that it is enough, right? And you will get feedback on things you can improve upon, but it's never going to be like, I have yet to hear where it is there's not some positive out of the conversation. And we need that. And this is, you have an opportunity being a business owner, owning your own practice, to really dip into having more specialized conversations than doing what you would have to do at like a clinic or wherever. We can really take some more time to connect with our clients on a human level of like what's happening here when we have a world out there, and how does that show up in here and vice versa. If you're in an ally or you're in a less marginalized group or you're not, those conversations still matter, because how you show up is oh my gosh, like we could go on and on about how that is even more, you know something we need to look at and consider, um because we need to be speaking to how therapy, I believe, okay, I believe that therapy shouldn't leave the world out there as it like it's a bubble, because we are sending clients back into a world that we all live in, right? It's a shared world, and we need to be having those conversations with them. And the ability to have those conversations, what an empowering thing for our clients. So I Kadisha, welcome. I was just talking about how outcomes conversations can give us strength when we are feeling overwhelmed in our practices, when we're wondering like, does this even matter? It's like such a drop in the bucket of the world. The world's on fire. But you know what? I do believe that I do think it can be a burden too as clinicians to feel like I have to carry all the hope. but sometimes we get hope from our clients too. And we have a lovely interchange and a reminder of our purpose. And I think it's an important conversation. So if you're feeling weary, if you are feeling like, oh, you know, I I want to, well, I want to leave the country. I want to hide in my bed. I don't want to deal with this. I want to encourage you to try an outcomes conversation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not in our business school or whatever, you can definitely come to this training. It's free. That's the first day. We'll have other trainings off of that where we're going to talk about how to use the conversation in your marketing and such. But I really think that you have a gift of having your own practice and having to you let it take care of you too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a unique relationship as a business owner, but then as the clinician, um, we're not having these conversations solely for the purpose of making ourselves feel better. We're having them as a mutually beneficial conversation. It makes you a better therapist. It makes you better at your marketing. It improves the attunement with the client. It helps the client learn what it's like to have someone truly care about the relationship and that shared responsibility. Kate is sharing, I'm in multiple like places, y'all. So Kate was sharing how she was taught during the Rodney King riots in grad school that we cannot ignore the world. We model self-care during those times and these times. Yeah. Please, if you find yourself like, I don't want to deal with this in session, then get some consultation. Then maybe we need to look at what you need to do to take care of yourself so that you can have these conversations. Or maybe there's certain clients you're really struggling with this with. Maybe you need to refer out because we can't believe that it's not happening and that it's not impacting our clients. And so learning how to have these conversations in the midst of that can really help you further deepen and refine that attunement and make you a stronger clinician. And Star asked, let our practices take care of us. How do we do this? Right? It's like, I do think asking our clients about our therapeutic relationship is a way we give back to ourselves. Yes, we give back to ourselves financially, sure, but I think there's also some emotional component of taking the time to really understand the impact of the work that you do. And we can't fully understand that. One time I was at for those of you that don't know, this past year, I've gone through a lot of Reiki training and I still get my own Reiki. And I went to the Reiki person and she said, I get the sense that you don't realize how many people's lives you've changed. And I was like, and she doesn't know what I do or anything. And I was like, what do you mean? And just like how that impact, it's hard to fully fathom. It really is. If you think about the one client you saw today or yesterday, think about the people that they come in contact with at work, their family members, their friends. Changing this, I come from systems. So you change this one little cog in the wheel and it changes all of them, right? It's that ripple effect. Let's take time to really delve into this conversation and really explore, are we getting great outcomes with our clients? Because when you feel good about your work, what a lovely thing. When the rest of the world doesn't always feel good, maybe this is a place that you can feel good, where you feel like you can affect change. I know we are affecting change in the way we vote and what we say and who we align with, in policy and all these ways that sometimes don't feel like enough. But what we do in our work can be another way that we make an impact on this world, right? And so I think it's really good to honor that and to let that be a place that you can rest in and feel good about. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about your work. We need to feel good about our work, right? Like that's important. We need to be able to speak clearly about what is good about working with us. It takes the whole competition idea out of the water. It's more about like, how do I stand in my truth, the way I work, the way I show up for my clients, and how do I care for myself in the way I run my business. We care for ourselves in how we run our businesses by the caseload size we work with, the kinds of issues that we work with. We're making sure that it's issues that we feel competent in and that we get support in, the schedule, the caseload size, the time off, the way we work, the frequency. There's so many ways that we use our business to take care of ourselves. And I was just thinking about like, well, what can we do when we feel like the world is just bleh? It is heartbreaking. If I stay there very long, it starts to feel like impossible. And I want to come back to the possibilities that we have with our individual clients. So I really encourage you, even if you're in business school and you want a refresher, come to that masterclass and let's talk about how to have the outcomes conversation. It's day one of that 4-day. The other days we'll talk about how to turn it into a marketing message, ways you can market your practice and such. But that first day, I just whether you're a client of ours or not, I want you to come just to think about how can I draw strength from the relationships and the work that I've cultivated so far before we start jumping into how do I get more work. That will inevitably come. But first, let's land in our truth and really understanding what is great about us. And if you are that clinician that's able to have those conversations, that is important to highlight in your messaging. Not every clinician can do that or is doing that. And that makes you very, very special. Please hear that if you're taking the time to do this kind of work where you're holding and seeing and making visible all the different parts of our world and the people in it and what their experience is like, that is the ultimate work as a therapist, isn't it? What a gift. That is a gift. And that is a change that you are making in a world that feels like it's not aligned with who you are or what you want for others. But you can create that in your own business. Someone asked if I plan my lives ahead or I pop up. I just pop up because I only like to talk if I feel inspired to talk. And yeah, and when I have time. So it is pretty random. So thank you all for joining me. I really hope to see you in the training next week. I put the link in different places. If you're in the network, you can just go to events and you'll see it. But my hope is I want you to know I'm thinking of you all. Believe it or not, I do think about all the therapists in the world, especially the therapists that I get to come in contact with, all that you are carrying. And while we can say, go rest, yes, rest. Yes, make space for yourselves, but also dig into what is good about you, what is good about the relationship that you have with your clients. Now more than ever, dig into some of that goodness. I think it is a gift you give yourself and your client. And I'm hoping that will help sustain you and carry you through very scary and challenging times. Okay. I'm doing the same. I am thinking of and getting feedback from people so that I remember like I'm where I need to be in the midst of a world where I can't be everywhere and I can't do all the things, but I can do my part and not at the sacrifice of my health, right? That's what we're trying to do here. It's a juggling act and it's a lot going on. So please know that you're in my heart and my mind, my prayers, my thoughts as we move forward. If you have questions, we're here to answer them. But I really want to show you how to have that special conversation. We'll give you the script. You can use it. If you're in business school, it's already in there and you don't have to wait for the live, but sometimes people like to join us for that. So I'm wishing you all a beautiful rest of your day. Kate, it's so good to see you here. Lisa, Maria, Stara, Polina, Lisaura, Irel, welcome. Maya, Kadisha, all of y'all. Thank you so much for just spending a few moments of your day with me. I hope you're inspired and I hope you remember that you are important and you matter in this world. And I want to see you be able to do this work for the long haul, to protect your hearts while also leaning in and being vulnerable, but also like doing what you need to be able to do this work well. You got me? You feel me? Okay. Much love to you all. Hope to see you next week.